So guys, as bad as Trump's first administration was, and it was horrible, it was bad, his second term is honestly 5 times as bad. I mean, this is the total destruction of due process and habeas corpus in this country, sending immigrants to Guantanamo Bay, sending immigrants, including legal permanent residents, to a slave labor camp in El Salvador with no hearing, no due process, anything. The warmongering with way more countries than it was last time, right? Threatening to steal Greenland and Panama and take Gaza and all this stuff. The collapse of the economy. Tariffs on, tariffs off, tariffs on, tariffs off. Oh, look at that. The market is tanking. The normalization of scams. Trump himself did a crypto scam on his own supporters and made millions of dollars as a result of it. And he's going to try to do a crypto billionaire heist by backstopping the crypto market with tax money. We've never seen anything like in modern American history. This is next level, bro. This puts Trump first term to shame and George W. Bush to shame, what we're looking at here. And the authoritarianism has been cranked up to absurd levels. Mahmoud Khalil, a pro-Palestine protester, Columbia student, they disappeared him. He's a legal permanent resident. He has a green card. He's not an undocumented immigrant. He's not a criminal. They even said we're not accusing him of a crime. They disappeared him. So ready for this? The other day we discussed Trump targeted with an executive order a law firm that he didn't like. I think it was like Paul Weiss or something like that. I don't remember the exact name, but I think that's close to it. And basically tried to target them. And then essentially he extorted them, and they agreed to do $40 million worth of pro bono legal work. Bono, whatever. And so in other words, he extorted them and said, I'm going to target you, but maybe I won't target you if you do free legal work for me. And they were like, yes, sir. So they caved, they capitulated. Now, what lesson is Trump going to take away from that? I threatened them, I extorted them, it worked. Well now, fuck it. Why don't I target other people via executive order and extort them, right? So now, look at the logical end result of this. This is a story why. You do not give a fucking inch to the fascists. You don't give an inch. Because you give an inch, and they take 10 miles. So here we go, Washington Post. Law firms refuse to represent Trump's opponents. In the wake of his attacks, the president issued a new order Tuesday sanctioning yet another law firm, Jenner and Block. The result overall has been called an extraordinary threat to the constitutional rights of due process and legal representation, as well as a far weaker effort to challenge Trump's actions in court than during his first term. President Trump's crackdown on lawyers is having a chilling effect on his opponent's ability to defend themselves or challenge his actions in court, according to people who say they are struggling to find legal representation as a result of his challenges. Biden-era officials said they're having trouble finding lawyers willing to defend them. The volunteers and small nonprofits forming the ground troops of the legal resistance to Trump administration's actions say that the well-resourced law firms that once would have backed them are now steering clear. The result is an extraordinary threat to the fundamental constitutional rights of due process and legal representation, they said, and a far weaker effort to challenge Trump's actions in court than during his first term. So in other words, with him directly targeting anybody who dissents, dissents, that makes people go, I'm just not going to dissent at all. So that means he gets away with more stuff and more stuff and more stuff, and there's zero pushback. He got away with 91 crimes, and it got to his head. So now he's totally unchained. That is a terrifying state of affairs. They continue, legal scholars say no previous U.S. administration has taken such concerted action against the legal establishment, with Trump's predecessors in both parties typically respecting the constitutionally enshrined tenet that everyone deserves effective representation in court and that lawyers cannot be targeted simply for the cases and clients they take on. Trump has used executive orders to target powerful law firms that have challenged him. The latest came Tuesday against Jenner and Block, which employed attorney Andrew Weissman after he worked as prosecutor in Robert S. Mueller III's special counsel investigation of Trump in his first term. So in other words, anybody involved in the Mueller investigation, I'm coming after you. The firm has participated in the weaponization of the legal system against American principles and values, and we believe that the measures in this executive order will help correct that, White House Staff Secretary Will Scharf said as he handed Trump the order to sign, calling out Weissman by name. The orders have sought to strip law firms of their business by banning their lawyers from government buildings and barring companies that have federal contracts from employing the firms. You see what they're doing here? I will bankrupt you. I will ruin your life because you did your job. Now, I don't have to do this. This is mafia boss shit. I don't have to do this, but you're going to have to do me a favor. Oh my God. Trump on Friday ordered Attorney General Pam Bondi to expand the campaign beyond individual law firms by sanctioning lawyers who engage in frivolous, unreasonable, and vexatious litigation against his administration. He already has over 70 lawsuits against his administration. Because what him and Elon are doing on so many fronts, wildly illegal. Wildly illegal. Legal scholars say there's little precedent in modern U.S. history for Trump's actions, but the president is following a playbook from other countries whose leaders have sought to undermine democratic systems and the rule of law, including Russia, Turkey, and Hungary. Leaders in those countries have similarly attacked lawyers with the effect of hollowing out a pillar of justice systems to expand their power without violating existing laws. They have successfully used the strategy to blast away their political opposition and any effort to counter their actions through the courts. Again, this is what people need to understand, right? It's an uneven playing field. It's a rigged game. And the more you stick to the standard playbook, the more he wins more, gains more power, right? We already have the courts. Every court has said the right thing so far with every case that's come in front of them about Trump and Elon. Every one. And they don't care. They just keep doing what they're doing. And there's no enforcement mechanism. There's no judicial police, right? And so they just keep getting away with it. And so what people need to realize is we are there. We are at that point. This is a dictatorship. This is authoritarianism. This is fascism. And it relies on absolute authority and power and control. And you just have to, you can't comply, right? Like, this is what I'm saying. You can't give them an inch. You can't comply at all. Because the second you do a little bit, they got you. The law firms have to behave themselves, Trump said at a cabinet meeting Monday. They behave very badly, very wrongly. Trump's targets say they are feeling the heat. It's scary, said a former official in the administration of Joe Biden who has been pulled into Trump-era litigation and needed a lawyer as a result. The former official had lined up a pro bono lawyer from a major law firm that the day after an executive order this month against the heavyweight law firm Perkins Coie said that it had discovered a conflict of interest and dropped the person as a client. 5 other firms said they had conflicts, the former official said, including one where the partner called me livid, furious, saying that he's not sure how much longer he's going to stay there. The former official said because the leadership didn't want to take the risk. The person spoke on the condition of anonymity to avoid further difficulties obtaining a lawyer. I don't know how many people are going to end up having to pay a significant amount of money out of pocket to defend themselves for faithfully and ethically executing their public service jobs. It's a really wild situation to be in. The sweeping campaign is targeting the livelihoods of the people best qualified to contest the legality of Trump's agenda. So in other words, handcuff the best attorneys and make sure they can't oppose you and try to force them to be on your side. Lawyers must now contend with the possibility that they could face lawsuits, fines, and other punishment aimed at them, even their other clients, should they contest Trump administration efforts in courts. Yeah, I mean, you guys can go and read the rest of this if you'd like, but this is the playbook. This is the fascist playbook. This is the authoritarian playbook, and they're doing it to a T. And I hope there's attorneys out there keeping detailed records of every single law that's broken by Trump, every single law that Elon Musk violates. And we're not doing, the next time, this is the main point that people need to understand. The next time, if there is a next time, the next time Democrats get in power, there's no more of that Obama shit. Oh, we look forwards, we don't look backwards. We're not gonna prosecute any of the Wall Street criminals. We're not gonna go after the war criminals in the Bush administration. Not happening. This time, it needs to be a litmus test for Democrats this time around. You want to be the nominee of the Democratic Party for President of the United States? You need to commit to lawsuits, criminal charges against Elon Musk and Donald Trump and the rest. We need to know you're going to be all over it. Because if you let the robber baron coup and the fascist takeover stand, if you let that stand, think of the precedent it sets. You want a different robber baron oligarch billionaire hacking around in our government agencies and cutting government programs he doesn't like, destroying the regulatory state? You want that? You want another president to pick another random country to warmonger with and try to steal like Greenland and Panama, like Trump is doing? No. We have to stand up. We have to fight. The law has to matter. It has to matter. We cannot abide everything that's going on here. Every day, there's a new law that's broken. So it is a fucking litmus test. We're going to stand up to Trump. We're going to stand up to Elon. We're going to go after the criminals. We're going to charge them, and we're going to fucking lock them up. It's got to be. It's got to be. There's no way around it. Because if we let this stand, if we let them get away with this stuff effectively, just like Bush did with his war crimes and just like the Wall Street criminals did in 2008, then the precedent is powerful people can get away with anything. Robber barons, law doesn't apply to them. War criminals, law doesn't apply to them. But it does, and it should, and we need to stand on that come hell or high water. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.